The excitement and the energy down here is just absolutely amazing.
Hey, this is Dan Scheid. What a great day. What a great morning in Kalamazoo. The half marathon, the Zeigler half marathon. All of our employees out here, what a great time. There's people everywhere. Josh Bilicki, the Ziegler race car. And the most special thing for me was I got to run with my daughter, Christina, and we finished.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. I'm your host, Sam Dark, and here with me, Auto Group Director of Talent Development, Mike Van Ryn. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. Hey, everybody, the special edition of the Driving Vision podcast. So at the Driving Vision podcast, Mike, as you know, we talk about how people are driving visions that change the world. And there's no better audience for that or group to talk about that on this Tuesday morning, April 26th, than those that put together the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon, Mike, right?
What a great team we've got here today, Sam. We're excited about it.
So this morning, we'd like to introduce from the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon, Chris Lampen-Crowell with Gazelle Sports, organizer of the marathon. Welcome, Chris. We've got Tom, director of marketing with the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon. Welcome, Tom.
Great to be on here.
And Carrie Drake, race director, who we saw much of this past weekend. Carrie, welcome.
Thanks, Sam.
And we've got Bryan Applin, liaison from Ziegler to the marathon, and who also works with Athletic Mentors. Bryan, welcome.
Hey, Sam.
Terrell, executive developer within the Zeigler Auto Group, former Western Michigan quarterback. He loves it when I say that. Hates it, right? Zach, welcome.
Thanks.
And Matt Thomas, who did just a ton this past weekend in terms of coordination and working within. Matt, welcome to the show.
Good morning, everyone.
And how could we have had the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon this past year without NASCAR race car Ziegler-sponsored driver Josh Bilicki? Josh, welcome.
Thank you, Sam.
So to everyone on this call, thank you so much for what you did in making this race happen. It was an incredible event. And I'd like to start with Carrie. Who the heck knew there would be hills in Kalamazoo, Michigan? It's supposed to be flat, Carrie. What happened?
Well, if you look at the past logo of the Kalamazoo Marathon, it actually has hills, and then it's in the name. We're in a valley, Kalamazoo Valley. So, there are hills all around us going up and down.
So did you get any feedback on race day on Sunday that there were hills? Unexpected.
From almost everyone I spoke to, yes. They all said that was the hilliest course, one of the most challenging courses, and yet they all had huge smiles and felt very accomplished after it and very tired.
So, Carrie, what is it? We talk about this a lot on the Driving Vision podcast. What is it about adversity when we're confronted with it and we overcome it that it puts a big smile on our face? Why is that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it has a lot to do with the mental journey that you're on. You kind of can fall into despair and feel very discouraged, and you keep working with yourself and you have this internal dialogue going on. And I think in a race like this, too, you have a lot of external support going on. Once you cross that finish line, that accomplishment is so great because you overcame so many barriers that were both mental, physical, emotional. It kind of runs the gamut. So I think it's in the mindset and the journey people go on when they're overcoming something great.
Carrie, Matt Thomas, Aaron Ziegler, and I sat at the race at the finish line and just watched people come across that line, and that high you speak of, that smile on your face, it was evident on every single person that came across that line, including Zach Terrell, who had some great advice for everyone as he finished the race on Sunday. Zach, what was your advice as you finished the 10K?
I've always been told that preparation breeds confidence, and my suggestion for everybody is prepare before Tuesday, before the race. He ran one time 2.6 miles on Tuesday prior to the race, and my calves are still feeling it thanks to Carrie and the design of the hills.
So that was a great line that we got from you. We'll hear it a little bit when we go to the live finisher segment because we recorded people coming across the line. And Zach, I appreciated that comment. So Chris, what does the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon mean to you personally as organizer and owner of Gazelle Sports?
Yeah, so I've had a blessed life that I've been in Kalamazoo since I was just a young boy, and running has been part of all of my life, just in an amazing way, both in middle school and high school at Western Michigan University. I was part of that team. And then it's been my career. So to see all these runners come together in downtown was just amazing to me. And it lifted me up to say, this town is about a healthy culture. It's about transforming to each other with health. And I think my vision has been, since I was a young man, to have Kalamazoo be one of the healthiest regions in the country. And this is a opportunity to invite people into that experience, because when you run and walk with that group of people and you're encouraged, it moves you forward and say, I want to do this again. And so I really think that having this big event is part of the vision I have for Kalamazoo to be really one of the healthiest communities in this country.
Well, we appreciate you driving that vision as you have, because I saw a side of Kalamazoo walking around downtown over the entire weekend that was neat, and it felt awesome to be there. Tom, what does the marathon mean to you personally?
I'm an active participant with Pavement Runner. Started actually as part of the Borges Run for the Helfet in the mid-'80s as a participant, and maintained that relationship over the years as a participant in the run. 15 plus years in the run camp community, and then director of marketing, and helped out with at Borges. Been really active in the entire run and as a participant over the years. And it's just so gratifying that Ziegler came forward to help sponsor this, because I tell you what, the run community, walking community in Greater Kalamazoo is so vibrant. So many social connections have been made over the years because of this event. So it's just really gratifying to run into so many people at the race that I hadn't seen in years because of the COVID. So it was really fun. And it was very socially connecting for me.
Running into people, including yourselves, was just such a big highlight for me. And you know what's funny is we all see each other on Zoom so much. Do you know the comment I got? If people came up to me and they're like, you're taller than you look on Zoom. I'm like, everybody said that. 8 people. I don't know why people said that. I'm like, oh no, do I look short on Zoom? I don't know what the deal is. So Tom, it was great to feel that community. Matt, there's one person who's not on this show today that really should have been, but there was adversity on Friday prior to the kids race. It was raining buckets. We were going to have the Ziegler hot air balloon there, including pilot Derek, but the balloon was not able to go up, right, Matt, because of the rain.
That's correct, Sam. And you know what? Actually, that was one of my favorite moments of the entire weekend. Here it is, pouring outside, and it's cold, and there are hundreds of people. There's over 100, I don't remember how many kids there were that participated in the PNC 1K, but it was packed. The whole place was packed. And I can tell you this, there's no better way to be driving a healthy community than starting with kids. And just watching that and all the smiles that were on their face, it blew me away. And we had so much fun that whole moment, from the start all the way to running over to the finish and being able to record all the kids coming through and the parents. It was electric. I'm telling you, you would never know that it was 40 degrees outside. You would think it was 85 and sunny with the way those kids were running.
So if there is an epidemic of sickness, colds and whatnot, we apologize, right? Carrie, is it true that my mom always used to tell me if you run in the rain, you'll get sick? Is that true? That can't be true after what we saw Friday.
That's a myth, for sure.
Oh, thank goodness. Because truly, one of the best times to run is in a light rain, and it felt great, I would imagine, looking at the smiles on those kids, for them to have run the way they did. So, Josh, what was your highlight from race weekend?
Honestly, there was 2. Spending time with Team Zeigler in a competitive atmosphere was a lot of fun. I mean, Saturday we had the reaction test time, and I saw the competition side of internally Team Zeigler on Saturday and Sunday. So it was a lot of fun. Driving this pace car was unique and special too. You know, you had mentioned that may have been the first time almost probably in history an NASCAR driver drove the pace car on a half marathon. So that was unique. I saw a lot of smiles as we drove the car by. You know, the car looks amazing. So yeah, spending time with the Team Zeigler family, getting to know you all a little bit more, and also driving the pace car, that was cool.
It was fun for me at the expo to see these little kids coming up and seeing that car decorated the way it was, and being able to get a picture of you, Josh, which you were so selfless in doing that. But then also, you know, these kids that say, can I sit in the car? And there were nervous looks everywhere. Oh, well, is it okay to let them get in the car? I mean, will they break the car? Is something going to happen? And guess what Josh said? Josh said, of course you can sit in it. And he actually went and sat in the car. And I can't imagine a more giving person, Josh. When we talk about driving the vision of the marathon and bringing community together, it was awesome. However, Chris, Carrie, and Tom, not one of you came by to compete with us on the Fit Light, and we are offended by that. Next year, you've got to come to the Athletic Mentors tent and take the Fit Light challenge. Carrie, have you ever done that before? The Fit Light?
I've never done that, but my competitive spirit would have kicked right in. I would have spent too much time there and not enough time making sure logistically everything was going on.
All right, so next year, will you commit Chris, Carrie, and Tom to all do the Fit Light?
So I'm going to just say I'll commit if you work 80-hour week before that expo and then do it with me. Because if you worked 80 hours, you did.
I did.
Wow. Okay.
It's a deal. It's a deal. That's awesome. All right, Bryan, favorite highlight or moment from the race weekend.
Yeah, Sam, you kind of alluded to it earlier when you talked about Zach coming across the finish line. It was really awesome having prepared for this and having worked with our people internally to get as many people to participate as possible. To come across the finish line and have Aaron obviously be the first one there. You know, Matt's got his phone in my face taking a picture. Aaron's giving me a high five. And then Team Zeigler kind of congregated around that finish line and waited for the rest of our team members to come across, which was awesome. I mean, nobody went and grabbed, maybe went and got water and a banana really quickly, but then came right back and kind of hung out as a team, as a family, to congratulate the rest of our runners coming across. You had, Ryan Budnick, who obviously we've talked about on the podcast, an incredible runner who had an awesome finish, awesome time. And then you had people like Nancy Nagel and Candace Rayburn, who have never run a 5K before, have really made a commitment to their fitness and their health in the last year. Joined Athletic Mentors, got involved in the marathon. So to have, that level of runner from Ryan all the way down, participants from our team, and then how we congregated. And actually, we were told we had to move several times, but we were just pumped to be at the end and watch our people come across the line, as well as all the other people in Kalamazoo that ran. That was a highlight. I mean, the organization that we have and the culture for everyone to kind of feel obligated but wanted to watch our people finish and complete something was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was actually able to run the race with Nancy. I was part of the group from corporate HR and with Nancy, and it was fun to see her face as we progressed across the course. Mike, a takeaway from race weekend.
Sam, we talk a lot on this podcast about gratitude as a quality of effective leadership, right? Practicing gratitude and just being able to run the 10K over the weekend. I was thankful I was able to do that. It was one of the goals I had on my vision board. I realized I missed competition because it's been several years since I've done that. Yeah. But as I'm running, so many people are thanking the volunteers. So many people are thanking the Kalamazoo Police, the WMU Public Safety, and there's just an overall feel of gratitude that the community was able to keep this thing running, pun intended. So that gratitude, I just thought that was fabulous. So great experience.
Wasn't it neat, Mike, to see families coming out on their porches and front lawns and just cheering people on? I mean, there was definitely an air of excitement and electricity in the air that would be tough to do, in any other way. Carrie, big takeaway from the weekend?
Yeah, Mike, I love what you said about gratitude. And, I think we didn't have much time to plan this. In fact, as Chris really was the one starting, brought me in, and slowly but surely we were getting a team together. And while a lot of people said, "Are you guys crazy for doing this?" We'd say probably, and then they'd say, "Count me in. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need?" And from the get-go, including Ziegler's team, everyone was all in. My biggest takeaway is the fact that the community is hungry for this, that they wanted this back, that they wanted to see it. And our race committee, you as a Ziegler team, all of our sponsors, the entire community showed up and then some, and I can't express my gratitude enough for that. That was amazing. And again, it just was really affirming that this was the right choice to make, and I hope Chris feels that this was the right thing to do for Kalamazoo this year, in spite of that really short time period we had to do it, in spite of the great uncertainty that we faced. It turned out to be an amazing weekend.
And that is part of driving vision, right? It's being certain in the face of uncertainty, doing what you know is right, and ending up changing the world, blessing the lives of others as a result. Chris, thoughts on that?
It's so important to be able to put yourself in a vulnerable position where, you might not succeed, but you have the passion and you have a tenacity, and then you build a team. And I think this is not a one-person effort at all, and it never was. And that's the incredible part of this is Ziegler, you guys talk about team so much. You do have to have a vision and passion and tenacity, But building that in that team just makes this whole thing, ripple through the community in a way that you wouldn't if it was just one inspirational leader.
Yeah. So before we have Tom tell us about an individual who overcame a hardship to succeed at the marathon, Chris, I have a question for you. Gazelle or cheetah?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to say I like something of both of them. I would say the cheetah speed is amazing and they're beautiful animals. But gazelles, they work in herds and they are really adaptable to any kind of activity around them. And so you see a group of gazelles and you know that they're working together. You see a cheetah, they might have a couple cubs, but they're pretty solo. So I'm going to go with gazelle.
So Chris, next year we need a special edition cheetah gazelle shirt, and we've got to lean into that a little bit. Matt Thomas will tell us at the expo we had both of our cheetahs there, and they drew a little bit of attention. Matt, what happened?
Oh, Sam, I'm telling you, Bryan and I were laughing time and time again at how many people would come up and look at them, and then all of a sudden make these comments to us that would be something like, man, I'm going to come back and take that thing. And so we're saying, hey, they're not for sale, number one, and you're not going to take it. So we actually had to put low jack on the cheetahs. And then in addition to that, yes, we were calling Carrie Ann Thomas to come down and help us guard these things. I mean, we were literally on patrol. We would not leave the tent because of so many people. Am I right on that, Bryan? I mean, there were so many people that kept saying these things to us.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe, people saying, yeah, I need a bigger bag. I'm going to shove this thing in my bag. And I actually have a huge shout out to Matt because we were guarding the tent. Matt actually went and got me lunch because someone had to stay with the tent. So we took turns. It was like patrolling the cheetahs.
So Bryan, that's an interesting point. Chris, Carrie, and Tom, I think downtown Kalamazoo did not expect the turnout that was about to happen. And as evidence of that, Josh Bilicki and I went to go grab lunch at Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's was 100% out of bread. We walked in and they said, you know what? We'll make you a sandwich, but not with bread. And it was like a Seinfeld episode asking for a rental car. How do you have a sandwich without bread, Carrie, Chris, and Tom?
Well, I have that all the time, Sam.
Fair enough. Keto, right? So I think this was a blessing to downtown Kalamazoo and businesses down there. But Tom, you have a story of someone who overcame hardship and difficulty to participate and be in the marathon, Tom.
Yeah, we got a story lead on, her name is Helen. And in talking to her, it's amazing that this person, she's 80 years old, going to celebrate her 81st birthday, I think, in early May. And she kind of started back in getting involved in walking back in the early 1990s as part of the Kalamazoo Corporate Olympics. Some of us still remember that. Then you fast forward 2016, and a friend asked her, hey, why don't you walk with me in the Borges 5K? And she did it, and she was so ecstatic about preparing for this walk. She didn't know she was going to be able to do it. Her family says, oh, Helen, don't do this. So she walks in the 2016 5K, and then she sees all the excitement around the course and stuff and people applauding and stuff. Her and her friend said, well, let's do this in 2017. And then they do it in 2018. So in 2019, she is like ramped up. She is so excited that she's going to be able to walk again in the 5K. And then she participates in a healthy heart screening the day before she goes to packet pickup. And people are going, oh, Helen, you're fine. You're in great shape. You walk all the time. She finds out through an EKG that she's got some abnormalities, and they'd say, you need to go to the emergency room right away. She goes, well, I'll go on Monday after the race. She goes, no, you're going right now. Ends up having a pacemaker put in on Monday. And so her son and her friend bring her a race bib to the hospital room where she's at. So she really felt bad. So she was so excited when we had the race come back this year, and she participated in the 2022 5K walk. But again, that's just one episode. There was another one on the course, and some of us saw this, where another 80-year-old lady, she's finishing. She was like, I think the last person in. And everybody was surrounding her, giving her accolades. So it really is a true testament to the building health in the community.
Tom, we appreciate you sharing that. It's neat to hear these stories and the impact. How about we do this again next year? I think everybody can attest. They heard Mr. Ziegler talking about how great it would be to not only do this again, but to make it bigger and better. And Matt, we're grateful to you for the coordination you had with all the folks who are on this call in executing this, including Francis, who's been pretty quiet in pushing the social media out. There was not a moment that was missed during all 3 of these days, thanks to your efforts and Francis's efforts on LinkedIn and Facebook and all the various social medias. And we're grateful to you and the entire race committee. Matt, and I think you'd like to say a word to Chris, Carrie, and Tom.
Absolutely, Sam. One of the things that was amazing is just watching this all come together in such a short time. As Ziegler, we have our pride statement. We have our pride values. And I can just tell you this, Chris and Carrie and Tom, you blew up on 3 of them that absolutely blew us away. And that was passion, your passion for the runners, the community, the kids, the team, the volunteers. Your passion was constant every day, every meeting, every call. Your drive led the teams all the time. People don't even know it, but they were doing so much behind the scenes, putting up things left and right, moving metal gates. I mean, all weekend long, they're just doing things one after another. And then the last part was just execution. You 3 executed at one of the highest levels I've ever seen. And we just cannot thank you enough. The community cannot thank you enough about what took place over this entire weekend. And just to see all the smiles, all the joy that was brought forth, it's really because of your leadership. So on behalf of Ziegler, we wanted to just take a moment to thank each and every one of you because you guys absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, and Chris, Carrie, and Tom, I echo what Matt says. One of the challenges we have within the Ziegler Auto Group is we ask so many vendors and partners to come up to the level of execution we feel like we have, right? We often will borrow from Mercedes-Benz logo, which is the best or nothing. And everyone on this call, Josh Bilicki, Bryan Applin, Matt Thomas, Zach Terrell, Tom, Carrie, and Chris, you all lived up to that motto. So we appreciate you. We appreciate this marathon. And how about we do it again next year? Everybody in next year?
Absolutely. We're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Josh, will you be back?
Yeah, next year I want to participate, though.
Oh, Ziegler NASCAR race car driver Josh Bilicki, you heard it here first on the Driving Vision podcast, will run. Who's going to drive the car? Zach? Should we have Zach Terrell drive the car?
My son Hayden said he would do that.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. And how old is it? Remind everybody how old Hayden is, Mike.
He's 9.
That's awesome.
Oh, he'll
be fine. He'll be fine. You can put anybody in the car, right, Josh? So, hey, everybody, thank you. We appreciate it. We now turn to our live in-race commentary. You're going to hear a bunch of feedback and testimonials from Team Zeigler and other participants, and we go there now. Thank you all.
Yeah, we're so excited to bring this race back to Kalamazoo. It's so great for West Michigan to see thousands and thousands of people out here coming out. And it's kind of like the grand opening party of COVID, as communities are getting back more open again and moving forward with life. And it's about having a healthy community and everybody coming together and doing something fun. And the excitement and the energy down here is just absolutely amazing for a Sunday morning. And we couldn't be more proud to be part of this thing, and we're going to be continuing with this for years to come.
What advice do you have, Aaron, to people that were looking at the sidelines saying, hey, do I join this year or not? What advice do you have for next year?
I'll get involved. It's so much fun, and you can do the 5K walk, you can do the run, you can do it with your family and your kids. It's a great event for everybody, and it's so much fun to do. You just got to take the plunge and just give it a shot. People come from all walks of life and all different times and running and abilities, and just get involved. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Aaron Ziegler, President, CEO, and founding sponsor of the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon.
Thanks, Sam.
It was a day of coming together as a community, as Team Zeigler. It's just exciting to be here for Kalamazoo, and let's all do it next year.
Isn't it awesome to see friends and family out enjoying each other out of doors? And we couldn't have asked for better weather.
You're absolutely right.
It was raining buckets day before yesterday. How did we get so lucky?
Somebody up there really loves us.
Who from your family ran with you today?
So I had my daughter Paige and my son Avery.
Paige, how did you do?
It was a really fun race.
Who won, you or Avery? Because you're competitive.
Oh, that's left to the people to decide.
Okay, we're not going to announce the results, right? Do you have anything to say? No?
Lily was our cheerleader. So.
Lily, what was it like cheerleading?
It was a lot of fun.
What a fun thing to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. All right, I know I'm an illegal runner at this point because I don't have a bib, but I'm running from the gentle middle of the walker section in the 5K to the front of the walker section, if I can even make it. I'm not sure I can. Here's the office staff. What do y'all have to say about this experience?
Loving
come on.
Loving it. So fun.
Are we having fun? What are we doing?
We're walking at a brisk walk right now.
Brisk walk, slightly humid, 40% chance of rain at 4 p.m.
Our HR team name is Run Like the Winded, and we're winded.
Oh, is it really? Do you have a name?
Yep.
That is so cool. What does it mean to you to be able to be out here today, running like the winded?
Exactly what the name says. We're winded. We're so thankful for the experience and the nice weather.
That sounds very sarcastic, Renee. Okay, we're on the course of the 5K walk. What do you want to say?
This is Candace Rayburn from the Granville store.
Of course, Candace, come on.
My brother and I, Ted, both showed up today. I gotta say, he's doing a lot better than I am.
Where is he?
Oh, he is way ahead.
He is not doing better, because if he was doing better, he'd be right here with us. Because do you know who you're running with, walking with right now?
I actually don't know who
this
the whole
is
crew is
Run
here.
Like the Winded. This is the office staff from Kalamazoo. Does the office staff have anything to say?
This is the HR office.
Oh, is that a difference? Yeah. Hillary?
That is different.
How is that different?
Because we work for the auto group.
Okay. And?
We just happen to be stationed in Kalamazoo.
Okay, anyway, so what would you like to say?
Even if you don't think you can make it, it's always great to sign up and show up. You put your name on a piece of paper, you show up even if you have to walk.
Isn't this a great minute? We're out in the warm weather. What does it feel like today?
Oh, spectacular. I was both afraid it was going to rain.
Hello.
And I thought it
10K
might
or
be
half?
85.
We just got passed by a 10K-er.
We were lapped a little bit. It's okay. We're still out here doing it.
We're out here doing it. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're coming to the final stretch.
Yes, finally.
Do you have anything to say, Nancy?
Yeah, it's my first 5K and it's fun.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's my first one.
How do you feel so far?
You know, I'm glad I did it.
You were beating my entire group the whole race.
Really?
Yeah, only in the last 10th.
Well, if you could do me a favor and stay behind me till I finish.
I'm going to stay behind you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stay behind you.
Okay.
What do you have to say?
Oh man, this is fun. This is a great event. Glad to be here.
So there are some people on Team Zeigler that didn't make it out. What would you say to them?
I feel like next year you better sign up, and whoever didn't, I'm going to tell them they need to. We'll hold each other accountable.
Missed out on a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Let's bring the house. Yesterday it was raining, or day before yesterday, terribly. Didn't think today would be so pretty, but
hopefully next year Derek can get the balloon up for the kids. That'd be great. So yeah, hopefully the kids next year have a little better weather.
What did you do to prepare?
Well, I've been actually working out quite a bit lately. Running on a treadmill, but that's not the same as being outside.
But you are ready, and you did awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, it's Araya Daniels. I just finished the 5K, and it was awesome. Pushed through and got through it and had a great time.
Any advice for anybody thinking about running next year?
Oh man, do a little bit of training, lots of stretching.
Awesome.
So my recommendation for anybody that plans on running this next year, which I strongly encourage because it was a lot of fun. This is my first race. I do recommend training before Tuesday. Running one time will not prepare you for a 10K, I can assure you of that, but what a great experience, what a representation of Ziegler and the city of Kalamazoo and all Team Zeigler that showed up. So a ton of fun, and I hope everybody does it next year.
Thank you, Zach Terrell.
Thank you.
So, Josh, what was it like driving the pace car at the half marathon?
A little bit slower than what I'm used to, but man, some of these runners impressed me. I mean, their speed. I mean, the gentleman who just finished the half marathon, who was the quickest, he was flying. He was composed at the end. I saw him after he crossed the finish line. I mean, talking and walking like he just ran a 5K. I mean, very impressive. So super cool to see all the Team Zeigler out here. I mean, Aaron started it out. Sam, yourself, you ran the 5K. So very cool to see. And I hope that I'm free next year for this event because I will train and I'll come back. The half marathon might be a little bit much for me, but I'll for sure do the 10K. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
So if you run, who's going to drive the car?
Maybe Aaron. Aaron's a driver himself. Aaron or Sam. Lots of fun. Cool to see Kalamazoo out here in gorgeous weather.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Team Zeigler. Mike Van Ryn here. Just finished the 10K. It was a big push at the end. A lot of fun. Can't thank our team and the community enough for the support. Great job, everybody. Thanks to our volunteers as well.
Unreal event today here in downtown Kalamazoo. Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon was awesome. Couldn't have asked for better weather. All of our teammates from Ziegler did amazing pushing through. Big shout out to Nancy Nagel finishing her first 5K ever, and Ryan Budnick, our proud sponsored runner who's also a salesperson for us, coming in second in the half marathon.
It's impressive how competitive Team Zeigler is, and it's a healthy competition, and I think that's important. I mean, to have these types of events outside of your normal work area, have so many Team Zeigler employees represented here, I think that's awesome.
Zach Terrell, former quarterback, not Bryan Applin.
Former quarterback, former water boy.
What did you ever do, Bryan?
Yeah. No, I finished 5K today. That's what I've done.
Congrats. Okay, I have a question. Who came up with the leap first, you or Zach?
Zach.
And then who came up with it first, Zach or PJ Fleck?
PJ Fleck.
And who uses it better, PJ Fleck, Zach, or you, Maggie?
Me.
All right, PJ Fleck, you've heard it here first. So Scott Ziegler, we're here at the finish line of the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon. What did it mean to you to be a part of this event today?
Oh my gosh, it's just been unreal. Really happy that we brought the marathon back to Kalamazoo, and it's just been an awesome experience all the way around between the expo yesterday and the race today, and it was quite a challenge.
Any advice to anyone thinking about running next year?
Yep, just start training and just start running and as much as you can and just do it.
Thank you. So, hey, Ryan, you just came across the finish line of the half marathon. How'd you do?
It was a tough day, but we ended up finishing second, so I was glad I was able to represent Ziegler out there and have a good time.
That's a tough day. What made second tough, Ryan?
It was the combination of the heat and the hills, and some days you're just not feeling it, and that was one of those days, unfortunately.
So most people would say second is a win. Did you have first expectations or what?
Yeah, you always want to go out there and win. I'm happy with second. I'm grateful that I was able to do that. But yeah, of course, you do always want to walk away with a win.
We're proud of you for representing Team Zeigler the way you did. And speaking of representing Team Zeigler, we also have Ziegler's hot air balloon pilot, Derek, with us as well, who was not able to fly the hot air balloon because of the weather on Friday. Derek, how'd you do today?
We did good, but I'll second Ryan here. The course was extremely tough. We've been involved with the Kalamazoo Marathon for over 10 years, and I know we switched up the course, but this was a tough course and it was a tough day, and the heat didn't help. We've been training in 20 to 30 degree temps and snow, and you get 70 degrees with a little humidity and tough hills, but we were glad to be out there representing Ziegler. A lot of people happy to be back after kind of being off for a couple years, and what a great morning and what a great day for Team Zeigler.
So we are highly competitive here at Team Zeigler, and we get super focused. So second and a finish where you're like, hey, I would challenge you in this moment to look around at the ratio of smiles you see around here. Have you ever seen so many happy people smiling, enjoying being together?
And Ryan can probably second this as well. When you're done with a race, whether you run a 5K, 10K, half marathon, or even the full, you're just happy to be done, and it's just smiles when you're at that finish line.
True?
That's very true. It feels so much better when you're done.
And here at the finish line, we've got music. There's all sorts of tents up. There's pizza I see, donut holes. Did you see the bacon station along the way?
We did, but unfortunately I had to pass.
What, did you take bacon or pass?
I was offered bacon, but I passed as well.
And what did the Ziegler station on Stadium Drive in front of the dealership look like?
Yeah, it was very nice. It was great to see team members cheering us on.
Did they recognize you, Ryan, as a part of Team Zeigler?
They did. The cheers got much louder once they recognized the singlet. So.
All right, so as you think about next year, Derek, how are we going to get the hot air balloon up?
Well, we need to pray for good weather. We were down at the Homer Striker Field. We were really excited to be on the field and inflate the Ziegler hot air balloon, but unfortunately, Mother Nature had different plans.
All right. Any advice, Ryan, for people considering running next year?
Get your training while you can, prepare for the hills, and be ready for a great time.
Enjoy the pizza, the donut holes, and the music.
Yeah, my plan is to change the route.
Change the route for next year. That's awesome. All right, Ryan and Derek, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Carrie Drake, the race director. This day has been beyond expectation. It's been a homecoming in so many ways, and we're so grateful to the running community, to Ziegler, to everyone. So it's been amazing.
Carrie, what advice would you give to anyone considering running next year that hears all the excitement and sees the smiles about today? What advice for those next year?
Yeah, make sure you train for hills, everybody.
I guess, right? I heard the 10K was a little hilly.
It is very hilly. The half as well. So just do some hill repeats. You got a whole year before it comes around. So you got plenty of time this year.
Any feedback on the best station along the race so far?
The best station, I haven't heard any feedback on that, but the gummy bear station and the bacon station, I know we're in full swing and probably everyone's favorite.
So I was told you could only take 1 cup of gummy bears, but I may have known someone that took 3 cups. Were you tracking that at all?
That would be up to Honor Credit Union, who was the sponsor of that station officially. So
to Honor Credit Union, on behalf of whoever took those 3 cups, we'd like to apologize.
Yes, there you go.
Was the bacon good, you know?
I don't know, but I believe it was because they've done this year after year, and I mean, bacon is delicious. How is it not delicious?
Carrie, on behalf of the Ziegler Auto Group, thanks for all you did in putting this together and coordinating this. It was an awesome event, and it is great to be out together with community here at Kalamazoo.
Thanks, Sam. We so appreciate it too.
Hey, this is Dan Scheid. What a great day. What a great morning in Kalamazoo. The half marathon, the Ziegler half marathon. All of our employees out here, what a great time. There's people everywhere. Josh Bilicki, the Ziegler race car, and the most special thing for me was I got to run with my daughter Christina, and we finished.
Christina, what do you have to say about that? What does it mean to run with your dad?
It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we finished.
That's awesome. And you did a great job.
A special thanks to Matt Thomas, Chris Lampen-Crowell, Carrie Drake, Josh Bilicki, Mike Van Ryn, Bryan Applin, and everyone who participated and left audio messages on the Zeigler Kalamazoo Marathon. And a very hearty thank you to you, yes, you, our listener and audience, for making this episode possible and for making the Driving Vision podcast one of the top business podcasts on Apple. And until next time, how are you driving vision today?